Hi, I've been asked to share a little bit of my story about how I came to find the Good Grief Group Trust and also how we came to set up the LGBTQ group. I lost my wife 7 months ago, and I spent a long time looking for different support, and just felt incredibly overwhelmed and isolated by how incredibly difficult dealing with my loss was, and struck by how incredibly difficult friends and family and neighbours and everybody found talking about grief and meeting me in my grief. It felt like it was incredibly overwhelming, not just for me, but it was sort of like it was taboo for everybody else. And it was such a revelation to find a Good Grief cafe that was run by Diana during lockdown, because it was like suddenly coming into a room full of people on Zoom who all got it instantly, and there was no judgment at all. It was like we really understood and were really attuned with one another. And I did. I very much felt like I'd sort of been drowning in my own grief, and that was a sort of life raft, a way to sort of be really open and honest and just talk in a very different way than I had been. And I just would encourage everybody to really access support, and particularly I think there's something about talking to other bereaved people when you're struggling with the loss of somebody so significant. That's just so important. When I lost my partner, it wasn't just losing her, it was, she was the co-parent to our children. She was my best friend, she was my rock. We lived as if we would be together forever, and that just wasn't to be, but nobody prepares for that, and I certainly had no idea how living day by day would be without her. And it's just very important, and to know that there are other people struggling with the same things that can really understand. So I really hope that you come along to the group and that you find it as incredibly useful as I have.